believe I made it. Turn down my music. How interesting. The moment I come on live, my phone decides it wants to start singing. Good evening. Let me make it not sing, even though I don't mind if it did, but it could be disruptive for me. All right. This is the Body Electric Supplement. Hopefully, everything is a-okay. I want to make sure the camera is working well. Make sure that you have your comfortable beverage out there. And let's go. So I looking back at my calendar, so I've been having an interesting time this week. Not a horrible week, but definitely lots of busyness and tiredness. Because of the busyness, really want to work on my things. You may know that I am a singer-songwriter, composer. I am currently preparing for the release of new music. Even today, had a recording session, and I think it went well. And yeah, just preparing for that in the new world that we live in. Being a creator, always been a content creator. I'm from the DIY do-it-yourselfers, and now that there's just so much out here in the world for us to be able to work with and to work on our own is amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so there's that. Then there's the daily grind. I'm going to put on some lip gloss. The daily grind of the day, of the week, really. It's a time of year where, time of year that, it has my initials though. My performance initials. Hold on. NK. That's me, Nerd Queen. But, yeah, it's I don't know. I had a revelation, I do believe, maybe a week ago, and I'm really trying to make an effort to grow. Had some inner work to do, and who knows what the future is going to bring without all of that. Who knows? But at the same time, working on my spiritual life and my spiritual journey, all of that comes into play. Still have to deal with the mundane in the world. So there's that. One of the things I've been working on is to be more of a content producer versus a content consumer. And yes, I have been producing a lot of content, but I'm at a point right now where I have to do some editing and find, like I said, I love the systems that are available out there for people like me who seek to have all fingers in the process of creation. But it's a lot while still working a full-time job. So there's that. But I want to talk about some videos that I have been able to see. And because, yeah, as I'm basically saying, being a content producer means I don't watch or consume as much content as I used to. It's time to act. And I was even thinking of later, I'll write a note to myself later, let's see if I can think of. Last year I had a word of the year, and it was embody. And then I did believe the year before was awe, having awe in my life. But this year I'm still kind of struggling. I don't know what my word of the year is going to be. I feel like it should be something that is like action oriented and not just being. But we'll see. I mean, I'm still working that out. It's only just March. So, the videos that I have been able to see, I was watching, still not, last week I came on and I, you know, was transparent in expressing some enviousness towards one particular YouTuber. I do believe her name is Baby J, and I'm not officially subscribing to her as of yet. Like, I feel like she does have a good message, even though her delivery, not necessarily my taste. Not, you know, her words. I hear them. I do. Um, Not just so much into the delivery. Okay. Um, but I definitely am grateful that she is out there. I will say that. Um, but in her one of her videos, she was mentioning how you can attract anything with, a particular kind of energy, with goddess energy. Um, and basically, she was just saying you can have it all. And it's interesting where she went into a little bit of a story talking about how maybe some of her subscribers think that just because you're doing well in so many other aspects that you need to be doing well in everything at the same time, at all at once. And maybe that's, I kind of understand where she's coming from with that, because I was just thinking about that the other day, and how I had a little crushy poo on someone, and the last month or so I've just kind of just like, really not really interested, not interested per se in him, but maybe interested in reviving or updating some other things in my life, so that when or if I am ready to attract a mate, it will all work out. And that's basically what she's saying. It's like, if you're in transitions, you really have to, get your ducks in a row the way that you want them. You can't just ask for everything at once. You might not be ready for all of it at once. You know, when I was, and I'm still growing in a lot of different ways, and I just don't have the time. Literally, I just said so at the top of this video. Don't have the time to give to a relationship right now. And I'm sure that she is feeling the exact same way. So it would not make sense to try to attract someone when you're not ready. Like, not ready. Okay, let me speak directly to the camera. Let me say that again. It does not make sense to try to attract someone, even if you want someone, when you are not ready to receive and be. It does not make sense. So I think she's observing some wise judgment in that. She seems to know how to use the law of attraction wisely. Okay, if she's building, if she's working on business, maybe she's waiting until she gets to a certain level in her business, and then, you know. But yeah, I found that really interesting that a lot of people still think that this is like a magic genie lamp and everything just poofs comes here to you. It could potentially, but not like that. But it's, you have to be doing the work. And I am working on some videos right now about the manifesting recipe. There is times that you put in certain things and times where you hold back and you let simmer. Some things before you get to the manifesting, you really have to have your mind right, as they say. You got to have your mind right. Otherwise, your manifesting will go awry. Okay? We manifest all the time. And that's kind of what I mentioned as I'm working on in my recipe for manifesting. We do. We manifest always. It's just how you do it. How can you do it to where you get what you want? Okay. So just imagine if she was manifesting somebody right now in her chaotic. I don't want to assume that her life is chaotic, but in where she is right now, she might not actually get what she really wants because she's not really ready. Okay. And we all tend to do that. Think about it. People who are, I'm trying to find a nice way to say this. People who are desperate, of course, they repel the people who they really want, and they end up bringing in people who are probably just as desperate or more desperate than they are. Let's just be real. That's what happens. It happens. So, yeah, be mindful about how you manifest. Be mindful. Get your mind right. And another video that I did happen to watch was from Brown and Bendy. She was, I'm trying to remember the name. The oh, it was about shifting. I'm trying to remember. Oh goodness, you mm, I cannot remember. But basically, she was talking about how you have to, and again, I like the word embody. You have to be the person that you want to be that has those things. And she does talk about that often with her people in and talking about the law of attraction. Okay. um you really do have to be who that is. And the example she gave was if you are seeking a job promotion, and say a person who works alongside you or underneath you, heaven forbid, ends up getting a promotion and you don't get recognized. If your reaction is of resentment and bitterness, you don't you're not being the person that has a raise, right? If you're too busy noticing that what you don't have because you're too busy looking at what somebody else has, then the universe is saying, all right, you ain't got it. Okay? You ain't got it. And that's what happens with the law of attraction. And I'm not telling people how to behave or how to act in those situations, but I know I've been kind of similarly in those kinds of situations where you're just like, well, you I don't want to say grit your teeth and bear it, but you understand that something's coming for you. Just because somebody else got something doesn't mean nothing's coming for you. And I know I've said this often in my videos that we live inside of an explosion. There's more than enough for all of us all the time. You do not have to feel as though if somebody else gets something, you get nothing because of it. The universe is expansive. We are ever filled. We just need to be ready for it. The universe is ready to toss us something, but we have to be ready to catch it and receive it. Okay? But if you're too busy feeling jealous or feeling resentful, then it's not coming. Okay? It's not coming. And so yeah, so Brown and Bendy, she talked about that a bit, and she talked about, or her most of her platform is about shifting identities. In that regard, that's how you can become a powerful manifester. If you turn yourself from a worker into a business owner, you think like a business owner, so you get a business. Okay. And then the other video that I did briefly watch, I need to go back because I mean, I like his content, but he is definitely down in it. He is down in it. It's nothing necessarily fluffy, but it is facts. So Quazi Johir, he has a video called "The Greatest Identity Secret That Changed My Life." Again, he is his premise as far as like law of attraction is also about shifting identities as a way to um, bring in the things that you want. And in that video, he talked about a client that he currently has who is currently living in a war torn area, and he was talking about how this person kind of didn't, young, still teenaged, young, and looking for clients, international clients, and how just living in an environment that is so disruptive, I can imagine, where there's inconsistency of internet and electricity, that it can only make you feel so disheartened, right? So of course you're not going to produce the best of results in a normal, I I don't want to say in a normal state, but in I guess most people's typical response would be feeling fearful, feeling doubtful, feeling like I can't do this, like there's so much against me. And I don't want to expose the secret of that because I do want you to watch his videos. Like, again, we live in the reason why I also mention these videos, because I want you watching them too. I hope you're watching more than one person out there about the law of attraction, and it's not show busy like I don't know if I could ever make a video kind of like It's a Baby, where it's just very edited. I'm not knocking her, but I don't have the time for that. I'd rather just sit and do a live. Okay. Dominique, it seems like she does one long take. Also, Quazi also does one long take, and that just seems a little bit better for me, you know. And I know, YouTube probably won't, I don't know, who knows, but I flow better that way. I would prefer to flow rather than to have to stop, think, stop, think. I don't have a script. I do have my binder. It's not really a binder. My little notebook for notes that I write down while I'm doing this, not write down when I'm doing this. So I have things like Post-its, and I put that in my inner work journal when I'm doing that kind of thing. I tend to take on information kind of quickly, and yeah, but excuse me. But yeah, so I write down notes as I'm musing, and I did the other night about my manifesting recipe. And I don't know, we'll experiment with that particular video. It is not live yet, as of yet. I will see what I can do with that one. But yeah, I just don't have that luxury of editing, sitting down and editing. There's too much going on in my life. Um, and I'm currently not coaching right now because I am, instead of coaching, talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. So I am, like I said, working on my music. I'm actually performing next weekend, so I'm still a musician. As soon as the season opened up, I just did something last weekend. Luckily, this weekend was free for me to do my recording. Next weekend, performing. Okay. I'm in also a few bands. So I am busy. So it's not like you know, not willing to come here. That's why I feel like doing a live might be best for me. Um, so yeah, so Quazi was able to bring across this idea of sometimes affirmations aren't enough. And there's a lot of people there, and there's nothing wrong with an affirmation when you're first starting out. In fact, let me see if I can find part of, I don't want to play it, but let's see if I can find it and put it on mute. Because he has a whiteboard, I can read his whiteboard. Let's see what I can find here. Um, and I have a whiteboard, I just need to put it up. I have a mini whiteboard. If you saw in a lot of my other videos, I have them. So yeah, affirmations, there's nothing wrong with them when you're first starting out and you don't know what to do. You don't know, well, what am I actually going with this? An affirmation for some people, um, I'll say this. So when there's a lot of people who also don't know how, or they don't think they know how to meditate or pray. Um, an affirmation is, I feel like it's a combination of both. Um, I personally don't do affirmations unless I write them. Then it's not, I wouldn't call it an affirmation. I would call it, let's see here, my intention. Okay. So I would call it my intention, not necessarily an affirmation. So I would, work on a time that is adequate for manifesting, get myself in that mindset, meditate, go into my intentions. I don't do it as much. I do meditate often, so a lot of mine uh, thoughts are literally in my thoughts, so I don't really say them out loud. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's been a long day. But yeah, I don't actually say them out loud. Um, I visualize a lot, and I'm actually really good at I'm a mental visualizer as a form of manifesting. I've realized, and I was doing it naturally. So when I started coaching people, I would tell them to do that because that's what I would do as a performer. I would just visualize what is ahead of me, what's about to happen. I go through it as though I'm going through it, like I am 5 minutes ahead of where I am actually. Well, it depends. So I would maybe visualize on that day what that day looks like. I would visualize the day of what my next 2 hours is going to look like. I would visualize right before I'm performing what I is that I am doing on stage. So I'm always in the zone, in the zone, in the zone, visualize, 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 just like an athlete. And that's kind of where I got a lot of that from. It's like you'd be surprised how much psychology, I guess that's what they're gonna call it, psychology, wink wink, that a lot of athletes get coached in, and I think a lot more people need to do that and learn how to do that. A lot of people are not even aware of it. So there's that. Yeah. um, there's nothing wrong with an affirmation if you're starting off. However, let me go back to that video. Quazi was mentioning how maybe we need a little something more, some of us. Not to say there's nothing wrong with having faith. There's nothing wrong with having faith, okay? Some of us might need the realization that it is on its way, that it's near, and thus this week's discovery. So this week, and again, I mentioned this in the other video, I was teaching about the states of matter, and I don't think a lot of, I'm going to keep saying this, there is a fourth state of matter, which is actually the first state of matter, okay, that a lot of people don't know about, or they don't realize they know about. They know about it, they just don't realize they know. So I'm going to pick up my beverage. And it is, it is my mother, y'all. I'm going to take this call. I know it's live, but gotta do it. Hello? No, not really. No, what did it say? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. That's what spring is like. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.